you.
No.
I can't see you guys, but you can see me. Getting ready to go live.
Okay.
Let's see. Oh, we are live.
Right.
Yay.
All right, just closing out. All right, there we are. Hello, everyone.
Yay.
Thanks for coming. And those of you that come in the chat or watch later, thank you for coming and joining us. Today, we're going to collaborate on our favorite supplementary classes. I think Candy Addicted is the one that asked us to do this one. I think so. She'll have to let us know if it was her. Hello, Amanda and Cindy are here. Thanks for coming, guys.
Hi, guys.
Paige and Kasie, I think you've seen these before where we talk. It's a little bit different than Meet the Teacher, where we can take questions anytime during the chat, and I'll try to keep an eye on both. But my notes are a little bit everywhere today since there was so much. So, all right. I was wondering if anybody has one positive thing that they have been doing, or how do you word that? One positive thing that's going on right now. Like for me, I have not been eating out. And I know that might sound crazy, but since I moved to Florida, that's all I have done. And, you know, Germany, we didn't have all of these places. So moving to Florida, I have eaten out all the time. And now I've been cooking at home and making meals and trying different things. So that was just something I was thinking about on my walk today. What about you guys? Anybody have anything positive to share?
We're taking walks too, and that's great.
Yeah. Me too, actually. My daughter and I have been walking every day. We go to different tracks. We stay away from people. We go to tracks that aren't crowded, but we get out of the house. So
that's what everyone's doing here. They're all on opposite sides of the street.
Yeah.
And they're walking and stuff. Yeah. Kasie, Paige, anything you can think of?
I've been getting outside a little bit, trying to like walk around the block pretty much. Just trying to stay out of the crowds as much as possible. Like I've had to go to this a couple times, but I try to like keep sanitized and wipe.
Yeah, the restaurants are still open here, so you can get takeout, but there just comes a point when I'm like, I'm not gonna chance it. So
For me, I would say I'm actually enjoying the forced family time because I have an 18-year-old son, and it is it's allowing us to spend much time together because I've been sad because he's going to be leaving me. So we have been able to actually spend time together and talk.
Oh, I know the feeling. We'll chat when you're an empty nester. Am I the only empty nester right now? Oh, Cindy's in the chat. Oh, Cindy's not either. She's got older ones, but she's got babies at home. Thank you. Teacher Mindy is here and Karen S. Thanks for coming, guys. Okay, well, let's get started. Paige, you said you don't mind going first?
I'll go first.
Yay.
Okay.
Go ahead. So why don't we introduce ourselves? I'm sorry. And then people will know what we're doing.
Okay.
Kelly, you're the top left for me. How about you go first?
Okay, so my name is Kelly. I'm teacher Kelly Tag on YouTube. I live stream every Tuesday. Actually, I read the weekly report for VIP Kid and Go-Go Kid. And sometimes I have another topic too, every Tuesday at 9:30 Eastern time. I'm certified for levels 1 through 8 now, and most of the supplementaries. So, yes.
Good.
Cool.
Kasie, you're next.
Yay. So I'm teacher Kasie. On VIP Kid, I'm teacher Kasie X. So I feel like I don't know, a ninja or something. It's like a code name. So that's pretty exciting. And on YouTube, I'm ESL with District Cecil, and I'm starting my my podcast this week, I think. So it's gonna be Unicorn Teachers because ESL teachers are unicorn teachers, and and I don't know. I have a lot of certifications, almost all of them besides grammar, because grammar is not my friend sometimes. But yeah, that's about it.
Good. And Danny, you're next in my lineup over here.
Okay, first I have to ask, how did you get a single letter? Have you been teaching that long that you got a single letter, Kasie?
Oh, good question. And actually it's EX. so
Oh,
double. But yeah, it's I think I started in 2018, February 2018.
I'm a
okay.
single letter.
I have 3. Wait, I have 3 letters.
I'm a C.
Yeah.
That's
Oh.
it. Casey
It
C.
actually just depends on how many times your name. So like Casey is probably not as common of a name
Yeah.
as
Mm.
other names. So that's
makes
what I was
sense.
told it depended on. So maybe some people like very popular name like Katie might have like 4 letters.
Right.
Yeah, that makes sense.
See, I'm already learning things.
Right?
Yeah,
That's what we're here for.
Awesome. Well, I am Danny. I am Danielle HPQ, and I have Danny Happy Farms, Louisiana, and a year and a half of VIP Kid, lots of certifications, and I think we get those in the summer the most. So I think it's a really good time to go ahead and get them because summer's around the corner.
Good. Okay, Paige.
All right, so I am Paige Howell, but actually at VIP Kid, I am teacher Linda WHF. So take a moment. Luckily, I'm not WTF. I am WHF. But my whole family knows me as Paige. So I was going teacher Linda when I first started doing YouTube, but I decided that was too confusing for myself. And so I am Paige. I actually just stuck up my sign. I put it over. I just signed my 5th contract in February. I started VIP Kid on Valentine's Day, February the 14th, and fell in love with VIP Kid. I teach a lot of different things. I am getting certified. Well, I have time now for 6 and 7, but I'm certified up to. No, I'm 6, so I need 7. I do not have 1, and actually really don't have any desire to get 1, to be honest with you. I like the older kids, and unless I really need to, then I'll stick with them. And I like teaching the supplemental. It gives you something different. And like Danny's mentioned, I tell every teacher to get on them as soon as they can because the summer is a great time to pick those up. And one thing I do is I refer my students to supplemental classes all the time. I'll say, you know what, your son could probably use some proper pronunciation.
Yeah.
Right. This is important in the chat. Karen, is it me, Casey, or the other Casey? I think you're talking to the other Casey because I'm quite loud.
No.
And I was thinking the same thing. Casey, I think you're a little bit quiet, at least on my end.
Okay.
And
maybe that's better.
maybe.
I turned it.
They're letting us know in the chat. They're always helping out. Thanks,
yeah,
guys.
that's nice. Yeah. I think maybe it's better. I turned it up on my headset. So maybe.
Okay. Well, I just hope it's not too loud for you. So Casey is still doing this, but poor thing had a headache. So
yeah.
Aw. Well, thank you guys. Paige, did I cut you off or did you finish?
I finished because I could keep going, you know that.
Forced finish, you know.
Oh.
Okay, well, I'm going to give the rundown really quick. So when we're talking about supplemental classes for VIP Kid, we are talking about VIP Kid Storytime, leveled reading, grammar, TOEFL, VIP Kid Phonics, proper pronunciation, free talk, voice of VIP Kid, from words to sentences, VIP Kid Phonics, VIP Kid Vocabulary, dinosaurs, health, space, power of the sun, new grammar, new voice of VIP Kid, knowledge up, and JCL. So there's quite a few that you can certify for. And I say go for it too. Some I think are end up being pretty good. And as Danny taught me, don't listen to everything on Facebook. Take it with a grain of salt because it might stop you from getting a certification, my TOEFL. But it wasn't that bad. It wasn't my favorite, but it really was something I could teach. So I think that's it for the list that I have. And Paige has volunteered to do proper pronunciation. What do you have to tell us about it, Paige?
Well, proper pronunciation, I teach several of them too, but proper pronunciation is probably my favorite just because I think you really get to do a deep dive into how you pronounce certain letter sounds. And to be honest with you, even for myself, I was born and raised in the South. You may hear that when I talk. It was It was good for me to practice some of the sounds and go back and work with the kids on that. So I do really like it. In the proper pronunciation, you start out with sounds. So you may, one of the ones I teach a lot is really, I think they must give them somewhat of a trial, because I teach a lot of the first class, and that's working on Unit 1, Lesson 1. It's OU. And then with the OU, you do OU and L. So you work on the ow sound, like mouse, mouth. So it's a lot of repetition for one sound. And then from there, you move into sentences. So then they're going to start using sentences or words. You do words, sounds, words, and then sentences. Mm-hmm. And the other thing that I really like about it is you end with intonation. So it teaches them the inflection that we have in our voice as we speak. And they do know intonation, because they use a lot of inflections. I mean, one word, if you say it differently, changes for them. So they understand that a lot. I do think for some of the kids, it can be a little repetitive. You have to kind of bring in a little more fun, I think, into those lessons, because you're doing a lot of the same thing over and over again. But like I said, I do recommend this to some of my kids that are struggling with certain sounds. And I will even put that in my learning partner. You know, they continue to struggle with this sound. Maybe proper pronunciation would be good for them for a certain number of classes. Okay. One of the things I will tell you that I did, if you're looking at trying to get more bookings too, is I look back at my teacher to teacher over here. And if I see a student has had a supplemental class and I've taught them, then I will actually tell the parent too, hey, I saw they were taking Voice of VIP Kid or proper pronunciation. You know, I'm certified for that too. And so often then they'll jump over to me and I get to start teaching them.
Now, tell me if you've heard this too, but I heard that they book you for their major course, but then have to cancel it to book you for their supplementary classes. Mm-hmm. They can't just book their supplementary classes with their regular major course teachers.
I don't know, because I have a couple that I teach that are both. So I don't know.
Have you noticed if they've had to book you, cancel it, and rebook it?
I haven't paid attention to that, to be honest.
I've had that happen a little bit.
Yeah, so I wonder if that's why, because I saw it in Facebook somewhere. You know, if it's on Facebook, it's true. Yeah. So, no, but it's happened with 2 or 3 of mine too. So I thought, oh, maybe that is the way it works. But
so let me know if you guys. Are you saying that you lost them as a major course student, but gained them as a supplementary, or they have to drop that class and then pick up something else?
Yeah, like to book with you, they have to book the class and then cancel it and rebook it. But this little guy, not little, he's an older one, used to book at like 12 and 1 every Saturday.
But the other thing you can do that I do if they are a little older is we'll think of other words that have like this one, the one that you're teaching, if it's a Unit 1 Level 1, then it's the OU and the L sound. And so I think of other words, I'll bring up some props and it'll be, you know, here's a lion, that starts with the L. So I'll bring some things like that in too. For me and for most of you all, I'm sure your extension is going to really be based on what their level is as well. So if they're pretty good English speakers, you're going to be able to extend more. If they are very, beginner, then you're going to have to work at it a little bit harder in doing it, working with them.
Good. Anyone else have anything for a proper pronunciation?
I'll just say, so personally for me, I find it hard to fill the 25 minutes for that class. That is a good idea you gave, giving more words with that sound. Out of all the times I've taught it, one time I had a kid who had the worst accent ever. And for him, it was the best class because I could really work on the sounds with him. But other than him, I just find it so hard to fill 25 minutes with it. Right. And for that reason, it hasn't really been my favorite. So yeah.
Good.
No, and I think it does depend. It depends on the student a lot. And I will say, I get right up to the screen and we're laughing at each other trying to make the sounds with our mouths. I'm like, I hope they're not screenshotting me in this position at this moment right now. It is trying to bring in more words. So I do try and find different things for them to do. Because in the beginning, I will tell you, I did have a hard time. I would fly through it.
Yeah.
Now I slow down a lot more and really have a lot more repetition as much as I can. Because I know the repetition, although it is monotonous, is what they need is to say it over and over again.
Good. Yes, Danny.
Does anybody have any special tricks, since this is super important, because the one I get the most, of course, is the TH. So I'm always like, where's your tongue? And I'm like, tongue to teeth. But does anybody else want to share anything you guys know about something special you do? Maybe the V sound, so teeth to lip for V, right?
Yes. Oh, these are just for extra practice. It's not really what you're talking about with your placement, but I have these that I thought they're a good way just to extend. So I always get the one ready for the next class and I put it up here. And if I need something to fill some time, I'm like, oh, let's work on this. And this isn't even half of them.
Where did you get those? Are those yours?
Amazon.
I've seen some at the Dollar Tree.
Oh, nice.
Things like that. Yeah.
And I think in the library, either in the VIP Kid Library, I saw they have like either a dinosaur one or one like this. You have to make your own words and your own wheel, but it's got the top and it looks like a dinosaur. So and then you just use the brads to put in the middle.
So I will tell you, Danny, a friend of mine is a speech pathologist. And so I was doing exactly like you were, and I'm always sticking my tongue out, and she told me they don't actually teach usually with sticking your tongue out. You force your tongue kind of to the back of your teeth, the. But what I see them doing is they bring their lip in. They go, like they continually. So I try and work on this bottom part sometimes. I'm like, no, this goes out. But she said instead of sticking the tongue out to make it go behind the teeth, but I think that's hard to show them. I'm like, your tongue should kind of hit the back of your teeth.
Yeah.
And
we need one of those dentist pretend mouths so we could like demonstrate.
Have the tongue. I love my friend's a speech pathologist and I need to get with her again. She used to come into my classroom a couple times a week. So I got to learn a few tricks, but like the G, I mean, you can't really do it here as much, but if you put your head back, you can really make yourself G down there. You can feel it, it's like you're drinking G, and you can feel it back there. So some of these things, she would have them lay on the floor and do it. I'm like, what are you doing? So yeah, she's got lots of tricks. We need to bring her on here too.
I think the kids like it when you get in their face or you make them do something, it really makes it stick. Don't you think?
Yeah,
I think it does. It's your visual memory that you're going to see as well in doing it, and then the repetition. And we laugh together. I tell them, I'm like, if I laugh, they laugh at me when they're trying to teach me a Chinese word.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, it takes a little while. You're going to get it. I can't imagine their playbacks on me trying to speak Chinese.
No.
Candy said she loves supplementals. I've had a few try me for supplementals. They liked me so much they made me their MC teacher. Great. Nice. Now, Candy, I think you're the one that asked us to do this this collaboration. Let me know if it was you. I keep saying it was you. Amanda L said, I have several regulars who I first taught supplemental courses to. Then they made me their regular teacher. So that was the same. So her and Candy have the same experience. I can't think of anybody that I went from supplemental to major course. How about you guys? Can you think of anybody?
I would like to know how they sell it. Do they sell supplemental to students first? Do they sell major course to people first? I'd like to know how it's kind of presented to them.
Yeah.
I don't know if they've ever talked about that at a Journey conference, but how is that really sold to the parents or,
Yeah, I don't know. Because I know the LP is actually second. They go through like a class person that sets them up, and they're the ones that actually pick us first. But that's all I know. Evelyn, hey Evelyn, come to Zoom whenever you can. Karen said, thanks, Paige. And Candy wants to know if your background is minicam, Kasie.
Oh, actually, no, that's a good question. No, it's actually a like a banner thingy. It's a photo backdrop from Amazon. I lied. Yes, so not Manicam, but that it does look like it though.
It does.
Yeah.
I'm laughing because I asked her the same question, Candy, last time. What during your Meet the Teacher, I think I asked you.
Yeah, you did.
Good.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, let's see.
I
Kelly,
wanted to ask too, just real quickly, so to get an idea maybe from this group as well. So what percentage of classes would you say you teach that are supplemental?
Depends. Like,
oh, maybe.
Which one?
I was getting a lot more like when a lot of the new ones just came out, like the dinosaurs and like the ASS, the space ones. When those first came out, I was getting a lot more, and now I'm not getting as many.
I had a lot this past week because last week I didn't have open for the 2-week frenzy because I was supposed to go on vacation and we all know why it got canceled. So then, more people were booking last minute and I had a lot more supplementals. So, yeah.
I was trying to think. When I was opening the evening classes, I was getting a lot of supplemental classes and trials, but I haven't been opening them up as much. So I would probably say 1 per day out of probably teach 10 to 12 classes a day on most days. So probably 1 out of 10, 1 out of 12. Yeah. All right, let's see. Candy said, I know they can buy certain classes, like parents can purchase just phonics. Oh, Candy, that's a good question. I don't know if we're ready to answer that one yet. What supplementals do you hate to teach?
It's probably different for everybody. Like, I don't really like Voice VIP Kid, but Molly said she didn't really like proper pronunciation. So
I would say Voice of VIP Kid is not my favorite because I just had one just sit there and that was really hard for me. So maybe if I had somebody that interacted. So TOEFL was not my favorite, but I didn't hate it. What about you guys?
Yeah, definitely proper pronunciations, one that I hate. Let me think about that one.
From words to sentences.
You hate that one, Danny?
It's just so long and so repetitive, and it's just not my style. It's just, you have to just push through it, and not my style.
Oh, I like that one.
I've never had that one.
I haven't had that one either.
66 slides.
But it goes fast. It goes really fast.
Okay, let's see.
My least favorite is story time. Have y'all done story time? That's my favorite. I do.
I love it.
I love it too, Kasie.
Yeah. So if you're not certified for story time, I like story time. It's fun.
Oh wait, you do like story time or you don't like story time?
No, I do like story time.
Oh,
I thought you said you don't like story
I thought you said I don't too.
Don't like it?
No, I do.
Oh, I do like it. I do like it. I like it a lot.
too.
So I would get certified if you are not certified for story time.
Yeah, I like story time. That's actually one of mine. So Kelly, can you talk about leveled reading?
Oh, okay. I love leveled reading. So I get, everyone's distracted by baby Caleb. Hi, baby Caleb.
And Joshy. Oh,
yeah.
cute.
Hi, guys.
Oh, I just want to hold a baby. Okay, sorry.
Okay. So, yeah, I get really into the story. I think I like Little Bird, and I've read it so many times, but I act like I haven't read it each time. I'm like, what's going to happen? Most of them say the fox will eat the bird, and you'll have to find out. And I like, what are some of the other ones? Oh, the one with the shoemaker. I like that one.
Flying in the airplane.
Oh yes, and the pants that run away. I love leveled reading. Yeah. So I think it's fun to get into the story and the kids get into the story and find out what happens. Yeah.
So any questions about, leveled reading, put them in the chat for us so we can ask Kelly some questions. So Are all of those stories the beginner ones, or I'm trying to remember because there's leveled reading beginner and leveled reading advanced. I think the pants are the advanced, right?
Yeah, that
Yeah,
seems more advanced.
Those are advanced, yeah.
What about you guys? Your feelings on leveled reading?
I think they're fun unless I get a student that has like a hard time answering comprehension questions, then they can be a little bit challenging. But apart from that, I think they're pretty interesting. They're fun to teach.
Mm-hmm. I still have trouble with comprehension. Even on something, I'm going to be honest with you, right from the beginning, sometimes I have to go back and find the answer because comprehension for me, or just remembering what I read really is a big thing. Danny, what do you think?
I have only taught one and I did not prepare because I do that sometimes. I'm like, I got this, I know everything. And then I was like, oh my. So it took me by surprise and I didn't like it, but I just wasn't ready. So I'll be ready next time.
Do you use Google Slides?
No, I
No. That's helpful. If you like don't want to take a lot of time preparing, then it helps.
I was gonna
Awesome.
say I had a student that was 9 minutes late for a leveled reading class, and it was really difficult to get through all of the material, but we managed to do it. So that's a little bit hard because it's kind of a lot of slides, a lot of material. So if they come late, it's hard to get through everything. But obviously, none of the lessons are designed for them to be 9 minutes late.
Right. Paige, what do you think about leveled reading?
I actually have not taught any. I'm not certified. I haven't picked up that one. So
yeah,
and I probably should because that's what I taught was reading. So I should probably pick that one up. But I haven't done
yeah. I think that one has some double slides though on it, right? So they read the slide and then the next slide is the same, but there's a question at the bottom.
Yes.
So if I'm running out of time, I circle the question, we go over the question instead of reading it over and over again. So yeah. Kelly, anything else about leveled reading?
I mean, not really. I just think they're fun stories and the kids get into them. And yeah, I mean, they're great. Like, I think like all kids, like every single lesson, if you get the kid that doesn't fit. I think one time I had a kid that was still at the repeating stage and that was a long level reading. But other than that, I love leveled reading.
What ages, Kelly, do you see the most? I mean, what ages is it kind of geared towards?
I'd say maybe in the middle, not the low, definitely not the low end or the higher end of VIP kid, the middle ages. Yeah. Like maybe
level
3,
4.
Yeah. Level 3 or 4.
That's good to know. So level 3s are okay. Perfect.
I think so. I can go and check on it too in just a minute and see. Let's see. Candy said, I don't like the new knowledge up for the upper levels. An entire unit on opera. I am just not interested in opera and the kids don't seem to like it either. Oh, I've never had the, I'm not even certified for that one.
I got certified, but I haven't taught one yet. So
yeah, same here. Same.
Yeah.
I don't know yet.
And let's see. Karen said, we're in the car and my internet is going to drop. Oh, thanks, Karen, for coming if you lose us. And Candy said, level reading. Please help me. I tend to get kids who can't read a lick. They need phonics classes, not leveled reading. It seems to be 25 minutes of them parroting.
Yeah, that can be hard.
Yeah, I haven't experienced that too much, but yeah, in those cases, I write to the LP that they need phonics.
Oh, really? See, I've never written that to the LP or like that they need help in a different area. I haven't tried that before. I'm gonna have to try that. What were you gonna say, Danny?
Oh, right to the LP. And I'm starting to do that way more now since y'all have suggested that. But even now, like referring them to supplementary classes, like Paige said, great idea, like, because they have so many kids that they're over probably that they would love your suggestion.
Right.
So I was told, and I kind of think of it like this, and part of it I think comes from my having run a Sylvan Learning Center is it is the LP's job to resell this program. They want these kids to stay as long as they can because it is a business. They are trying to make money. So when we suggest, you know what, I think they could use proper pronunciation, that makes the LP's job a lot easier because they're being able to say, you know what, this the teacher is recommending proper pronunciation, not just me, but the teacher is recommending it. So I think, and that's my own personal opinion. That's Paige Howell's theory here, nobody else's theory. But if I was that LP, I think that would help in the sales process.
Right. I am looking up. Would you like to see my screen? Should I share it with you? Yes. I am looking up the leveled reading since Paige asked about, let me share my screen. Paige had asked about the ages, right, Paige?
Yes.
So let me see if I can share my screen. Guys, I'm still learning on all of this, so. Okay.
You got us beat, so.
I don't know, we'll see. Show all windows, maybe? Oh, here it is, okay. Okay, can you guys see it?
Not yet.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, so let's see. Here are the different levels when I was asking for, this is beginners. So, gosh, I haven't seen a lot of these. Little bird, flying in an airplane. I've done quite a few of those. And I think the age group is, well, I had it before I told you guys I was going to show it to you. Let's see.
I've only done the farmer's lunch over and over.
Really? I don't think I've done that. Oh, they take his lunch. Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
That one's cute.
Do you want to give away why they take his lunch? No one.
Why? They're hungry?
It's the
You don't remember?
The dog.
That was
It's his birthday, right?
birthday. Yeah, they had his camera.
Okay, I thought I had found it, but do you guys see it in here? There are 5 levels in total. Normally it's right here in the introduction, but I don't see it right now. I'm trying to read fast.
Yeah.
But it does have flashcards and everything too. I'm probably making people sick in here. I'm going so fast in the chat. So let me stop the screen share. But there's flashcards on most of these supplemental classes. So I just want to let everyone know that if you're worried about certain supplemental classes, maybe take a look and see what resources are out there between here and in the library too. So, okay. Anything else on proper leveled reading? No. Nothing. Evelyn said, I was going to say I like Food Ninja.
Oh.
What is that?
Is that a voice of VIP or is that the singing one? Yeah.
I think you're right. I think it is one.
Yeah, that is.
Evelyn said phonics is okay, and I like words to sentences, but the 66 interactive slides take a while to load. Okay, so thanks, Kelly, for that one. I know you have another one coming up. Paige, I think that was yours. And then Danny, you had mentioned, JCL, or do you want to talk from words to sentences?
JCL, please,
Okay.
Kasie, for 100. I was gonna say, if you have I love Jeopardy. If you have a hard time with your slides loading sometimes, don't make yourself big, because if I'm having a slow internet day, I don't make myself big, because when I go to load back to make me small again, it takes forever to load the slides, and then it's like loading, so if you're having issues, just keep yourself small, because usually I go big for the reward time.
Oh, I've never done that.
You don't hit the
I've gone big once on accident and panicked because I had no idea what button I hit, and I was trying to get back. I was like, oh, what am I doing?
It's really good for if you're doing how to pronounce something, or mouth sounds, you can get real big, but you want to say, okay, teacher's going to go big now.
My students will say, big teacher Linda, big teacher Linda.
Really?
You don't have a filter. You don't have a filter on big teacher Linda, though.
Whoa.
Stand back.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. I didn't know that.
So JCL is Junior Creators League. Raise your hand if you have this.
It's never been available to me.
No.
I have it in the process, and I got it a while back, but I never finished it. So it's in my process.
Okay. So there's basketball, fashion design, and biology. And I think there's one more, but those are the 3 that I have.
I think there's coding. Isn't coding one of them?
Ooh, I don't have that one.
Oh.
I think
And I've only taught biology. But it's supposed to cover the 3 C's. And so I wrote it down: communication, collaboration, critical thinking, and creativity. And so it's project-based learning. So they're creating a project every week. And it's like, instead of in the normal projects where they tell them what to do, this is they come up with their own project. You kind of direct them, but they get a lot more freedom in it. And so it's really, really cool. And if you have a student who's really into it, my little girl had this, she made a tree and talked all about the tree. So it's very good for more advanced students. It's really fun. But I've only taught like 2 in their biology. If it's not available to you, you can always send a ticket. Tell them, I have a degree in science, or, you know, whatever your reasoning is, and they might open it up to you if they need more teachers.
Right. I see music as one of them too.
Oh,
Music
yes.
and biology are on my list, but they've never been available.
Yeah.
I wonder, I know Evelyn likes to have lots of certifications. Evelyn, do you have a JCL?
I don't think she's in here anymore.
Well,
Katie.
she's not on the Zoom, but she's in the chat.
Okay.
Yeah.
So go for it. If you don't have it, ask. It never hurts to ask, right?
True. Yeah.
Do you see continuity, Danny, with that then? If you, since it's project-based, did you keep the same student like a regular, or?
No, it was during the summer, and she was on a train when she showed me her project, and I don't think I've seen her again.
Okay.
So I really don't know, but the basketball one, you get to design like a basketball court, and it helps them understand the game of basketball, and they get to be the referee. And that one would interest the boys so much because they love basketball. So
That would interest me.
you could
I
suggest
love
it.
sports.
Yeah, you could suggest it to your students who are really into basketball or really into music, you know?
Wow.
See, I think that's great to know, because a lot of my boys, then I could say to them, hey, Mom, there's a class on designing basketball that your child might be interested in.
Mm-hmm.
Once you have the certification, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Candy said she's certified, but she has never taught one. She said, does anyone teach STEAM? Candy, I was the STEAM teacher at my last school. I did an after school club actually with 80 kids, 40 a day. Luckily, I had great parent volunteers. On base, we're very fortunate with parent volunteers. So I did get to teach STEAM, and we had an author come in that writes books all about STEAM classes and things. So one day I will have to show you guys how to make a jump rope out of plastic shopping bags.
Yes.
Helping 40 kids with that was probably the hardest thing all year long.
That seems like a good YouTube video right now, because people probably have a lot of those at home, and their kids can start making some jump ropes, Kasie.
Indoor jump ropes. There we go. Oh, that's
Do
funny.
it, Kasie. Let's get together and do it as a Zoom, and we can have fun and chat and do it together.
Oh, that would be fun. I'll teach while we chat. I'm so good at multitasking, teaching and chatting, right? Let's see. I don't know if this is a supplemental, but is anyone interested in being a mock class mentor? It's not a supplemental. It's actually the teacher that is on the other end when you're starting with VIP Kid. That's actually one of my things that I would love to do, either a brand ambassador or a mock class mentor. I think that would be fun.
Mhm.
So,
I think you have to be asked to do that, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken.
yeah, Candy, if you're asked to do it, I think that'd be pretty neat.
Yes.
Oh, I don't know anything about it really, other than my mock class mentor was super fun. I just remember her name was Peggy, and I thought all class mock mentors were like acting like 5-year-old kids, you know, and she was so good at it. And we had a blast. I just thought that's the way it went. Okay, so anything else on JCL, guys? No? Okay, let's keep moving, because this could end up being a long one if we're not careful here. Let's see. Well, one of mine was VIP Kids Story Time. Oh, sorry, Kasie, I should have had you go first. You'll be nice.
Oh, that's okay.
I love story time because I love reading stories with expression, and you get to popcorn read and echo read, and those are all just fun ways to get the kids interacting with you. I was a little bit worried because my level 5 was doing story time. And I was like, she reads so well. She's going to be bored. But I was able to really stress like using her voices and being silly, but reading the words and full of expression. So I actually had fun with her, even though it was just way too easy and not really helpful towards her. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
So she did a few of them, and then she's back to her level 5s, but yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever had students with that don't like emphasize different voices? They just like say like the same, they do monotone, because I've had that, and I try to be like, okay, let's try it like this, and then they're like, I'm like, no.
I would say most.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say most of them, at least for the ones I've taught. And I've taught quite a few. Yeah, I would say most of them just still read at that same thing. And I just keep pushing, like the Gingerbread Man. Do you guys sing that song? It's so cute. Have you done it?
I've had that class once. It was fun.
You didn't sing it?
Yeah. It was
Did you?
fun.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
fun. And
yeah.
this one girl actually sang it all, changed her voice for everything. It was the most fun ever. So I love story time. Anybody else? How do you guys feel about it?
I've only taught like 3, so yeah.
Which ones?
The one with the sheep.
Oh, the boy who cried sheep.
I think so. Yeah, it's been a while, so yeah.
Or the boy who cried wolf. I'm sorry, the boy who cried sheep. I was getting
Baba Black Sheep, maybe no. I don't know. I'll have to
Yeah.
look.
Been a while, yeah.
I've done the Gingerbread Man and the City Mouse, Country Mouse a whole lot.
I've done that.
Yeah, I was getting a little bored with it because there was 3 kids doing that one like a couple times a week. So I was listening to that story over and over and over again. But now if I got it again, it would be fine because it's been a couple weeks. But,
I've done Jack and the Beanstalk quite a bit.
I haven't had that one.
The one thing you mentioned this, Kasie, and I find too, is because they are a little bit longer story, and a lot of the kids memorize the stories. If you've noticed, they memorize it. So it is a good way for us to go back and check their comprehension. And I'll even stop them and I'll say, let's stop a minute. Let's talk about what has already just happened. Because they do, I think they memorize a lot of that and don't really understand what you're talking about.
And I think that's another reason why the echo reading and popcorn reading are good, not just for the kids that need your extra help, but I think it makes them read what's on the slide because they have to stop, and they have to pick up where we left off. So yeah, if you have anything about story time, please put it in the chat. And really, that's all I have for that one. I have a lot of fun with that one. And 3 Billy Goats Gruff.
Oh yeah.
Did they change it to Fluff, or is that another kindergarten story? I don't remember. I've read that story multiple times, multiple ways. So,
Does anybody have this tag?
Oh,
I just got this tag. I
do.
got it in feedback, and I was like, "Ooh, I like that. I'm gonna do more of that." So it's a feedback
I've gotten
tag.
that. I've gotten that tag. Yep.
you have that tag too, Kasie?
Yeah.
Kelly, yeah.
Mhm.
I don't know. I haven't seen that one. Hey, Penny, welcome. Thanks for coming. Let's see. We're talking about our favorite supplementary classes, Penny. So, and Mindy, let us know in the chat let's see, your favorites, which ones you don't like, maybe.
Penny,
Okay.
I did this today. I'm sorry, Kasie.
What's
I did
that?
when they gave me the heart, I like threw my heart. I said, "Oh, thank you." So thanks, Penny. That was a great video.
I made a big deal out of mine, but I didn't buy one. But did I get this from Paige or Penny? I went and bought the okay, now I can't find it. The rainbow. Was that you, Paige?
No, that was not me.
Maybe Penny or Paula. Anyway, I'll have to show you guys. I put magnets all over it and everything. I'm like, man, we're getting all these tricks.
I think that was Paula.
Maybe Paula. Getting all these tricks and tips from these teachers. And not that I needed any more props, guys, but. Okay, Kasie, I have been waiting to hear about dinosaurs.
Yes, when dinosaurs ruled the world, it's Like it's really exciting. I have different props to show my different students. So like I have my little dinosaur puppet. I've had this since I first started 2 years ago. And I have like the full guy here. He's like really tiny. So it's just fun because the students, so their ages, I think 7 to 12, and it's level 5 or above. And so it's really cool because this is also like a STEAM and PBL. So they do projects as like we go along in the unit. So in each lesson, they have to have a project done. And I think a lot of times they build off of their previous project. Sometimes they do different projects, but I don't know, it's just really interesting to see that, to see if they've done the project, and if they haven't done it, then we just watch a video in class and I could ask them some questions, which is cool because you still have something to do. But it's really exciting to see, like, with dinosaurs, there was, I think the first or in the second class, like after their first one, they have to do like this dinosaur dig. So they like, it's like has the fossils and the bones. And I had this boy, and he was so smart, and he was just going off and like talking about so many different things. And he's like, well, they're not in the same place, like when it dies. And he was like, I don't know why that happens. And I was like, well, I mean, the earth maybe shifts in different ways, so as it is laying there, or maybe animals can take parts of it away. I was like, I didn't want to get too gory or anything, and then he was like, oh yes, okay, that makes a lot of sense. And so I don't know, it was just very interesting getting to like get into dinosaur talk. I feel like Ross from Friends, but
I love dinosaurs.
Yes, yeah, dinosaurs are so awesome. Like they're oh yay!
My little bag is ready to go when I book my first class.
Definitely. You can make your own little project with that, and then you could show them.
Oh, cute.
Yeah, because they in one of them they have to do different sizes and like show how they're different. So it's fun to like, oh, there are some that are really tiny and others that are like monsters.
Kasie, did you say those are the older kiddos?
Yes. So they're at least level 5 or above. And so yeah, but I've had a student, there was a girl that I had, and I was like, so do you like dinosaurs? This is really exciting. And she was like, no. And I was like, okay, so mom and dad got you in here, all right.
Yeah.
And she was just like, she just seemed like she really didn't want to be there. But so before they have class, they have class with their Chinese teacher, and they're like learning the different vocabulary and like different structures and sentences and like about what we're going to be talking about. And so then when we get in there, then they're supposed to kind of have like a good idea of what we'll be talking about. And so that's good because usually they talk with their Chinese teacher and they have that, or I think they watch videos. So yeah, so they get that. So that's really cool. Very neat. And then for my reward, I like to do because I haven't had the same student twice, but I like to do either you could build a dinosaur. So you get like the head, and then like you do spikes or whatever, and you choose the body, and and then in the end it might look something like this. So that's really fun. And then they have like silly gifts at the end, like you could they show what it might look like. I don't know.
Is that a Google slide, or what is that from?
That was on SlideKick. On Google Slides. Yeah.
Fun.
And then there's also like a feed the dinosaur. So if you happen to have the same one twice, you can feed the dinosaur. Those are always fun. I always love like feed the dolphin.
I've never done that one.
Yeah. Oh, it's really cool.
I always do find the stars. I need to change it up though. I think my kids are getting bored.
Yeah. Well, you should definitely I would suggest trying those because they're exciting, and like my kids usually really enjoy them. They start laughing. Like today I had a dolphin eating pizza, and I don't know.
Cute.
Yeah.
Okay, Kelly and Danny, I think you guys are going to team this one, right? Free talk.
Oh, yeah.
I
Look
have
at
a
you both.
question.
Oh, go for it, please.
Kasie, have you ever experienced, I have experienced them talking to me about dragons, just the same as dinosaurs. They believe that dragons did exist. I've had a few students, when I say, we find their fossils in the ground and they don't exist anymore. Oh, it's a dragon. I'm like, say what? Have you experienced this?
Yeah, I have before. It's very interesting when
What do you
it's like,
say?
I don't know. It's it's really awkward, I guess.
I'm like, dragonfly?
Yeah.
Because is that a belief that's been ingrained in them? I mean, you don't want to, I don't know.
I don't dis whatever. I just, oh, okay, and just move on.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I was kind of wondering. Like,
that. Yeah, if it comes to that and it's like, I don't really know what to say, then I might be like, okay, well, you get a star. Or I'll try to like transition it a little bit. Yeah, that's usually what I do.
It's kind of cool. It's interesting, but they're so scientific. I'm like, really? What?
Yeah.
yeah.
Anyway.
I know. Sometimes it's like I have no idea how to respond to that. Like that blows my mind.
Really quick before you get into free talk, Penny said she keeps booked by MC classes so much that she doesn't get many supplementals, and she's glad that the heart thing worked for you, Danny. More props. Yes, Penny, more props. I got more. She likes free talk. Okay, so that's going to be up next. And Beth, thanks for coming, Beth. Beth said she likes Voice of VIP Kid. Voice of VIP Kid is my only supplemental class. I have taught about 35 of them as of this morning, and 30 of those have been within the last week.
Uh-oh.
Wow, Beth. Okay, maybe you should tell us a little bit of Voice of VIP Kid, if there's anything, maybe your favorite part of it or something you don't like. Because I'm not sure if our Voice of VIP Kid representative is going to make it back or not, but we'll find out. Okay, ladies, free talk.
Okay.
Kelly, go first.
Oh, okay. Well, I know Danny and I both love free talk. I just love being able to talk to the kids. Most of the time it goes great. You know, for me, we read the slide, and then after reading the slide, I'll put it back on them, whatever the lesson is. What do you think?
Mm-hmm.
What have you been doing? So usually it just becomes a conversation, and you can just, you know, ask about them. So, you know, most of the time, like, free talk classes are great. Yeah. I mean, I won't, later we could talk about the few times when they don't go so well, but most of the time I absolutely love them. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Do you ever find like you're talking to yourself?
That's happened on a rare occasion. You will get a kid that just doesn't talk, and those are hard. That's happened to me. I've had a lot of free talk, and maybe like 2-3 times I have where you're like pulling teeth, but most of the time you can just have a conversation with them.
Good.
Yeah.
Danny?
Going back to what Paige said, I think now I'm going to recommend my students that, you know, that need more conversation. I'm going to recommend they take free talk, but I mostly see it in the summer and at Chinese New Year, or, you know, holiday time is when they take free talk. So I haven't had any in a while and I miss it.
I have one tomorrow, I think.
Is it travel? Travel's the best, because if they're a well-traveled student, you're like, wow, tell me more.
Right.
Where have
Yes,
you
I like
been?
that one too, because I can talk travel.
Tell us what it is. Yeah, look it up.
Okay, I'll look it up. What are your favorite? Do you use props for free talk? Do you guys, or?
Yeah. Depends on the lesson. Yeah.
Hobbies, right?
Yeah.
It's one I've never taught before, guys.
What is it? Don't tell me it's the famous person one.
And
That's
it's
the
a
only one I
student
hate.
I've never had.
Ooh. Look at her face. She's like, oh.
So mysterious.
It's loading.
Oh man.
VIP Kid free talk. Be somebody. It is.
Oh no, that's the worst one ever.
Great, thanks, Kelly.
Yeah.
I've never taught that one.
Oh, it's terrible. That's the only absolutely one I hate. Yeah.
I've never had that one.
It's horrible. Every time I write a paragraph, you know, where it says rate the slides, I put a 1 star and I write a paragraph about how bad it is.
Okay, so the reason she doesn't like this, I remember you talking about this one now. The reason she doesn't like this one is because it has famous people that they don't know. It's American history. So I've got Leonardo da Vinci, Helen Keller, I don't even know, Confucius.
Yes. Try to get them to say Leonardo da Vinci. Their native language is Chinese.
Jackie Chan, Abraham Lincoln, Confucius, Albert Einstein, Lu Xun, a Chinese writer, and Li Bai, an ancient Chinese poet. I hope they can pronounce them.
Some of them know the Chinese ones and some don't. Yeah, it's horrible. They don't know who anybody is, so you can't get them to talk about them.
There's more than I knew. William Shakespeare, Florence Nightingale, Vincent van Gogh, Benjamin Franklin. I'm gonna need to go study some history now, guys.
They don't know it anyway, so don't worry. They have no idea who anybody is. That's so. Other than that one class, I love free talk, but that one's horrible.
I feel like they should throw in like Harry Potter or something that they actually know.
Yes, I have suggested that, or somebody like a singer, or like somebody or someone their age would know. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
definitely.
Yes. Although I do like learning about Helen Keller.
But it's hard to explain to them when it's not their native language who she was. And
Yes.
they don't get excited about it because they didn't learn about her in school like we did. So it's hard to tell them about it. Yeah.
Great.
I would say pick something that interests you and kind of go deeper into that one. Don't worry about, just touch on the other ones. But with free talk, I'm like, oh, you said free talk. I'm going to talk about whatever, like I'll hit the slide, but at the same time, I'm free and I've never gotten in any trouble, but we sometimes go off and talk about all kinds of stuff, so it is a more free platform. So don't worry too much if they can't say it or they don't care, just move on.
We'll make it work. We'll figure it out. I just thought it was hilarious because she had mentioned that. So, and I have a vocabulary one coming up too.
So I've tried also saying like, what famous people do you like? But then sometimes it's hard to explain what a famous person is too. I've had that and get them to understand. So
well known. Maybe I'll compare it to a landmark, famous building, famous person.
Most of them know Kobe Bryant, and which that's a topic now. But or Yao Ming is their basketball player.
Yeah.
So famous, somebody, so they know what famous means.
Right. Did anyone have any that were really sad over that? Two of my boys were. Did you hear? Because we always talk basketball. Oh, poor kids.
I thought it was sad. I mean, I'm not like huge into basketball, but I mean, it's definitely sad.
Yeah.
And that happened in his family.
Oh, Amy, welcome. Thanks for coming. She says she just saw this was going live. Glad you're here. Candy said free talk is the best.
Yes.
And Beth said, I love fun little kid songs. They are so much better than the level 2 songs, and they are fun to dance to. Candy said, I had a free talk class. The little kid could not use target vocabulary. I just threw out the lesson completely. We just talked about her toys and Hello Kitty for 25 minutes. Her mom loved it. The goal is conversation. So.
Well,
that's right.
Cool. Mom loved it.
Good.
That's cool.
So, Kelly, can you think of a favorite free talk? And Danny?
I like all the other, like I like the travel, the hobbies, I can't remember. Help me remember the other ones, Danny. The food. Oh, shopping. Yes. I like all of them except the famous person one.
I don't really like the shopping. It's kind of boring, but it's hard to get them to talk about what they like to buy for me.
Oh, see, I didn't have any problem.
Oh, really?
It's interesting. I like to learn. They shop different from us. Most of them all shop on the phone or use their phone to pay. So
I like travel.
Yeah. Did you see there was a homeless person that actually had a phone that people could donate money from their phone to his phone in China? They're like, this is like the new the new way it's heading. It's very
Everybody's got a
interesting.
phone, even the homeless people.
He's very smart. Well, you don't know. I mean, he might have had it and then something happened, you know. I don't know the situation. So, okay, let's see.
I have a warning for travel. I've gotten in trouble multiple times for, not this, because this is pretty small, but I had a placemat map, got in trouble for my China having, not being what they use in school. So be careful with your map when you're talking about travel.
Me too. I think mine was from Google Slide. So
use the VIP Kid map.
Right.
See, I don't have a printer, so I just now don't use a direct map. I used to say, where do you live? Show me, but now I just use this one and it's too small for them to get me.
I have this dollar store one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, somebody else has that in our group.
Evelyn.
Oh, nice.
Is it Evelyn? Yeah.
Dollar store is the best.
Karen McKenzie, thanks for coming. She says she just found us. Looks like a great discussion. Karen, we're talking about our supplemental classes. What is your favorite class? And maybe one that you don't like. Okay, let's see. So we've got free talk done. Anybody want to talk about another one? I have VIP Kid vocabulary for me. Oh, and Danny has from words to sentences. So let's see. I'll talk about vocabulary and then you take words to sentences. Oh, my son is calling. Okay, so for vocabulary, I like the vocabulary and I was a little bit worried at first because it just seemed kind of redundant, but I've had the same student taking these vocabulary classes from me, like two times a week, I guess. And she's 5. And I was like, ooh, how are we going to keep doing this? Guys, she can read the slides. There's a few things she gets a little bit, she can read it, but is not confident. And mom or dad is right there to help. She doesn't like when dad's there. She wants mom. So, but the vocabulary, there's like community helpers for one of them. There's like body parts, there's clothes, and lots of them. So I think they're bright, they're colorful, they're fun, they're interactive. Does anyone else teach vocabulary? Or have you taught vocabulary?
Yeah. Yeah, I've taught some before. And I think they're fun. I know there's a lot of slides. So that's something, but I don't know. I think it's good if you could get through it all. And I know some teachers were saying that they're having trouble and they had more time in the end, so they would have to extend. But I don't know. I found there were plenty of slides to kind of keep you going through it.
I've had to extend with this little girl every time.
Hmm.
Oops, I'm trying to close the chat box here. Okay. I've had to extend with her every time, but I think I like this one so much because she's such a great student. I haven't had very many without her. So, did anybody else say they've done vocabulary? No? No? Anybody in the chat? Let's see. Does anyone have any? Oh, grammar. Yeah, let's talk about that one next or afterwards. Okay, so that's all I really had for vocabulary. I think it depends on the student, but I've had a great experience with it. So, Danny, how about from words to sentences?
I think it's a great idea because, and I'm going to recommend it now to some of my lower levels because, it gives you the words and it kind of builds the sentence. It's blue. I can't remember right now, but it's a ball, it's a blue ball, and it just builds, which breaks it down for them, scaffolds it for you and for them, and it makes your job easier. You just have to remember to move quickly because there are 66 slides. But other than that, it's just like a normal class, except they're doing it for you, scaffolding.
Yeah.
What was that one, Danny, again? What was the name of that one? I missed that.
Words to sentences.
Okay, words to sentences.
Yeah, I love teaching words. I love the way it builds and it goes really fast. I feel like I've never so far had a problem getting through all the slides. So
I've never had that one. I wanted that class when I first got certified for it, but I haven't had that one yet. How about you, Kasie? Have you had that one?
Yes, I have. And I think it's really cool too, like Danny was saying, it's nice to build it up, especially for those that are having troubles building their sentences and speaking more fluently. I think that's like a really good like building block. It really helps to build up that fluency really nicely.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Candy said, this is going back to free talk. Kelly, shopping is the best one. I also like going to the amusement park.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
free talk.
Those are good. Yeah.
I have that one. I did like that one. The worst is the popular means of transportation.
Okay. It's
I don't know
not
that
as bad. I've taught it. It's okay. It's not as bad as the famous person. It cannot be bad. No, it's fine. It's not one of the most interesting, but yeah.
She said it has terrible target vocabulary. During rush hour, what is the most convenient mode of transportation? No 7-year-old talks like that.
True.
So
Convenient
true.
is hard to get them to say.
Yeah.
Karen McKenzie said phonics. Is phonics your favorite, Karen? Hello, Laura H. Let's see. Amy said, I like them all. They break up the monotony. Yes, I agree. Oh, Karen said she likes phonics and vocabulary. Candy wants to know if anyone has any tips on how to make grammar fun and less painful and boring.
That's a good
I haven't had a
question.
grammar in a while.
I love Candy. She's so straight to the point. She's so blunt.
That's awesome. I actually had grammar, but then I had them take it away because I had a student or a parent that complained about like the lesson content itself. And then I was given like 4 apples. So I was like, no, I don't want this anymore. Yeah.
I'm trying to remember the lessons for grammar.
I taught one. Actually, I taught one today. It was one of the new grammar where they were learning like a question mark, a period, an exclamation mark. But I don't mind grammar. I don't think I do anything. Yeah, it was, and for period, I just did that. And he was getting into exclamation. He was like yelling, so that was good. But I don't do anything special. I just do the lessons. I don't find them boring. I find them fine, but I don't have any advice. I don't do anything special. Yeah.
Did you think that the new grammar was, sorry, Kasie, the new grammar is different from the old grammar? Did you like one over the other, or? I
have only taught one class of the new one, and that was today. Yeah, and it was just periods and exclamation. I haven't taught enough to give you an opinion on that. So, yeah.
So to be continued.
Yeah.
Kasie, what were you going to say?
No, that was my question, actually. Yeah, that was the same thing. So
let's see. Amy said, it took me a little bit to love leveled reading, but now she loves leveled reading. Amy, it's a truck. It's a long truck. It's a long red truck. Is that words to sentences?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, the new level 1 interactive trial is kind of like that. The red ball, the ball. I see the ball. I see the red ball. I guess that's kind of like that. What were you going to say, Kelly?
Oh, I thought you were about to talk about the new level 1. Never mind. So, yeah.
I just got certified yesterday, I think. Oh, Paige. Candy said you cupped your ear when you wanted to hear Danny speak. Oh, that's awesome.
My family says to me all the time, they'll say, we're not your student. You can speak faster.
My kids. Yeah.
Same. I think when I started teaching kindergarten, I'd come home like, hi, honey. He's like, great. Okay.
A quick question, because I couldn't remember. How many classes do you have to teach or to have under your belt before you can add supplemental? Are they different for each one, or is it a certain number just to start adding the supplemental?
Shall we share and look at one?
Yeah, I like.
Let's see. Let's pull up. Which one do you want to look at?
I was just wondering for referrals to be able to say to them, how many.
Oh.
Yeah, like when would they be able to start? Would they open up? They say, oh, I go in there and I look and there's nothing available for me. I don't know. I don't remember when they become available.
For new teachers, you're saying?
Yes, for new teachers.
Let's see. So this is story time. I wonder if I can still look at it now that I'm already. You used to be able to, but I don't know if you can now. What do you guys think? Well, I can show you one that I'm not certified for. How's that?
But
I think it's good.
It's going to give you the option to probably do it, but I'm just wondering, I know there's a certain number of classes you have to teach. Oh, so this one tells you number of classes.
Right.
So that's how many you've had, but what does it say you have to greater
It says more than 150.
for that particular class? Okay.
Right. So I qualify for everything except there's no vacancies for me.
Okay.
And that was the dinosaurs one for a long time too. So if a new teacher goes into their portal, then and whatever is gray, they can look to see. But you can see all of these are processing because I've accepted them. I just need to finish them now. So
I have many of those too.
really. Okay. Are you guys all back? Can you see each other?
Mhm.
Okay, good. All right. So let's see. There's still lots going on in the chat. Karen wants to know, how do you get more supplemental classes? Well, Paige, you want to tell her I don't know that she was here when you mentioned one way that you get them, which I think
Well, Karen's actually in my Facebook group, so she probably does know. So you can refer your students to supplemental classes. So you can say this supplemental class might be really good for you. But I think what she's probably asking is, how do you get more open for yourself? And I think, Karen, what we were just talking about, you have to teach so many classes and then they become available to you as you teach more classes. And then, they'll say they have so many open, and then you can sign up for that. So I think that's probably what she is asking there.
My daughter just messaged me. She's watching us from work. She said, "Good job, Mama."
Aw.
Ladies, say hi in the chat if you can. And my son's messaging me. He got his marriage license. So I am like, just within the last 10 minutes, I've gotten these messages and I'm like,
Oh.
okay, let's see. Laura likes all the supplementary classes. Oh, Candy, this is for Kasie, the other one. I am sorry you got a 4 apple. That is not fair to parents to rate the courseware and not your teaching skills and presentation. I'm sorry that happened to you.
Oh, thank you, Candy. Yeah, I've had that happen twice.
Oh, really? Oh, man. Paige, it depends. 30 to 150 or 400. So there's different classes require different things.
Okay.
Amy said it's usually a minimum of 50 for some, then some are 100 and others are 150.
Okay.
And Karen said more like bookings. So yeah. How do you get booked for more supplementary classes? I have just found the evenings seem to fit better, but as I've been hearing from veteran teachers, I think the summer seems to be a prime time for them. Yeah.
I would also, we talked a little bit about communicating with the learning partner. I would also, if you say, hey, I think this student could use proper pronunciation, I teach proper pronunciation, or you could even share with the learning partners, if you have any students that need, these particular classes, I'm also certified in those classes.
Maybe we should come up with a list of like what we think would be what do you think, requirements or things we see students need to get into proper pronunciation, or why we think they should go into free talk. But we need to come up with something like that.
I'm going to start doing that ASAP. Tomorrow, I'm going to be
share. Okay, let's see. What is something we haven't talked about?
Voice.
What'd you say?
Voice, a VIP kid.
Oh, I heard lice.
Oh, I taught one. Y'all scared me off, but I taught one and it actually went really well. We had so much fun. It was a younger student. And so it's one of those things, somebody else doesn't like it, but you might like it. And if you don't, you can just remove it, right?
Yeah. I'm not dropping it because I really want to try it with, I'm just hoping to get a student that's a lot of fun, because it's my own personal thing where I'm the one shutting down nervous because they're not doing anything. Because I can be goofy with the best of them, but when they're not goofy, I have a hard time with it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's really my own issue.
I keep writing in the feedback for, I have one student and she never smiled. She has not smiled. I've probably taught her 20 classes now, and I keep writing in there, my goal is to get her to smile.
Aww.
And I have about tried everything. And I'm like, it is so hard to teach someone that is just like
It
this.
is.
And she's saying everything. She talks perfectly, but she's just.
How old is she?
She's 7 or 8, but yeah. And I thought, oh, at first is she's nervous, but I keep teaching her, and I'm like, okay, we know each other now.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And she
It
will,
affects you.
she
Yeah.
will not smile.
Uh-huh.
I even wrote to the parent, Mom, it is okay if she smiles.
Tell me something she likes so we can have a conversation on something
Yeah.
she's interested in. Yeah.
I do. I keep saying that, and I'm like,
Yeah.
comes again.
It's hard to keep smiling when they're stone-faced.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I have a boy like that too, Paige. He's probably about 7 as well. And it's like, and I've taught him like 40 or so times, and it's just every time he's just so serious. And I could see his head like this. That's
Oh,
like, like all I could see. But if I could see a little more like this, then he's just so.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. I don't know. Okay.
That's when you're like watching the timer, and you're like, okay.
Yeah.
Mhm. My goal is to be more like Kelly and not teach to 28. I'm really working on it, Kelly, because I need some time in between. It's really,
Yes.
as I'm teaching more and more,
Yeah.
I need potty breaks.
Yeah.
I am
20,
done at 20,
or snacks.
26. That's
No,
1
yeah.
minute later than my classes go.
I'm done at 25. I'm off.
Oh, me
Oh
too.
man, that's
Oh,
nice.
really?
I am
25.
wrapping up at 24, and I'm pretty much signed off at 25. My students will even say, it's time, bye.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
At 24:55, I'm saying goodbye, and then I click off at 25.
That's so nice.
Yeah.
Mine always go to like 28, like without fail. And I don't even try to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Candy, it's a little off topic, but I love the question, and I'm all about off topic. So, Candy said this may be off topic, feel free to ignore, but how often do you change your backgrounds? I change my class background as I get bored.
Monthly.
Me, I try to change my background and it didn't make me happy. So if I can find something that makes me happy, I will change it. But Eric Carl seems to be like full of color and fun. But I thought I wouldn't get booked for all my big kids, but they've all stayed with me through my change and everything. So
I like it. It's brighter.
What's that?
It's brighter. I like it more than the Harry Potter.
And the Harry Potter just looked like a banner thrown up on the wall because the camera, I'm too far away from the wall, I think, for any of those small banners.
Mhm.
So, because I have drawers here with all my props.
I
What do
had
you guys
the
think?
same background for 2 years. I mean, the exact same. And if you've watched any of my YouTube videos, I had the exact same. It was a shelving unit behind me. My house is for sale, so I had to move. I'm in a little corner now, so I don't love what I have, but it works for me for now. But it's funny because all my kids will ask me, "Where are you?" And I'm like, "I'm at home," and I try and explain to them, and they don't really understand. But I'm like, "I'm still here."
Yeah.
So I kept the same one. I'm like, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Yeah. Well, I think I mentioned this on my live stream last Tuesday, but like I used to make mine a lot more complicated because like I'd have wrapping paper and something over. So because it was so complicated, I wouldn't change it that often because it was an ordeal. Like it was like, it would take a long time to change it. And of course you have to do it all in one day. So I just have started making it easier. So this is on Velcro. So literally after I'm done with these, I can make something else like maybe eggs. So I made it simpler for myself. So now I will change it a lot more often. So yeah, that's what I just recently did. Yeah.
Is it a Velcro on your wall, Kelly? Little Velcro things on your wall too?
Yes. So like command strips sell Velcro. So you put it here and then put it on the wall. So then, yeah, I can just switch out something else.
Perfect.
Nice. Cute.
I bought the dots
Mm-hmm.
on
Velcro
Amazon.
dots. I have the Velcro dots too.
Yeah, and that's what I use on my Find a Stars, is Velcro.
Nice.
All right, good question, Candy. Who haven't we gotten to? Kasie, Danny, or
Kasie.
I think I said good question, Danny, when I meant Candy. I don't know. Now you're all backwards. So okay, who's next? Danny's pointing to you.
To me. My background, I've changed it a couple times. I mean, I got this a couple months ago, and I don't know, I've kind of stuck with it. I've tried so many different things, and with lighting and stuff, it's really hard. Like I had a white wall, and it was just like, I don't know, it was too bright, and so it's so I feel like this really works well. I had one for Christmas that it was also like one from Amazon, like a photo backdrop, and it looked like a real fireplace, and they had like stockings, and like the students actually thought there was a real Christmas tree behind me, and I was like, can I just keep this up all year? But so
I like that backdrop.
yeah.
Okay, Danny.
I just moved recently from my green wall. I was there for a long time. That was my thing. But I keep a lot of things the same and then just change up a few things. Like right here, this is going to change to an Easter thing. So keeping it the same, but also changing it so it's easier, like Kelly said. And things that make me happy. This wave, I can see it when I'm teaching and it brings me joy and peace. So it's partially for me too.
Good. I agree. So Marianne, I'm glad you're finished. If you want to jump on the Zoom, go ahead. We still have plenty left, but I know some of you might need to go. This is, wow. Amy said she acts a fool in Voice of VIP. It's so fun to be a goof. See, I want to be goofy. I just need somebody to be goofy with. What's the magic to exact 25? What's the magic?
The magic, Kelly.
Okay. So I have actually I did a live stream and it's titled Pacing. If you want to look on my channel, Teacher Kelly Tag. So I talk about, so usually the slides where you can extend are also slides that you can shorten. That's one thing. And then I have my last at 24, exactly what I do to get out of there right at 25 in there. So yeah, maybe I'll make it a shorter video about that too, but
yeah.
Paige, how do you do it? Yeah.
Send me the link so I can put it at the bottom of this.
Okay.
And I think,
yeah.
Paige, I asked you for a link and something. Send me links that we've talked about for your videos and stuff, and we'll put them underneath. And you guys will get this link if you want to add it to yours too.
I don't know what my trick is, to be honest with you. I most of my students, I'd say 85% of my students are regular, so I know them well enough to know where they're gonna struggle and where we need to fast forward. So I really do pace myself. I know the ones that I actually have to play tic-tac-toe at the end too, so I've got to go and do that. But I just keep looking. I'm like, okay, slide this, and this is the time. Slide this, and I just keep trying to focus my time because I think I've talked about that. I really try and spend 30 minutes per class. I mean, that's really what I'm being paid for. So I really do try and spend 30 minutes. And I do feedback while I am doing class. I'm filling it out on the side. The only thing I don't fill out is my parent feedback. The rest of it is completely filled out when I log out, and then I just cut and paste my other feedback in there because it's open right there, so you can just kind of as you're going and
make sure you save it. That's what Paige told me last time.
Save it, because if you don't, it's all gone. So save it. But I did do a video on that if anybody wants to look at it, just to see how I get it done during class.
I will tell you what not to do. Sometimes I look and I'm like, I have so much time. I'm going to have so much time left over. I'm going to have so much time left over. And then I forget the project is there. And I have to cover what they need to do on the project. And I'm like, oh, I really should have saved more time instead of, thinking I needed to slow down. And I think
Kasie, I prep ahead. I at least look through the slides ahead of time. So that's one thing I write down is the pages that the project are on.
Yeah.
And then I can use that to pad time, or I can use that, like, especially if it's only lesson 5, I feel like it's okay to skip it. I'll be like, I'll write it. We don't have time to go over this. I'll write it in the feedback, and I will write it in the feedback.
Okay.
So I use it as like, I can extend if I need time. I can cut it out if I don't, or anything in between too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do the same thing. If we've got a lot of some time left over, then I have them read it to me. I'm like, read what
Right.
Or same thing. If I have to skip it, then I'll say you need to look in your workbook to see what the upcoming project is.
Yeah.
Right. I did that today. Laura said she loves the space and dinosaurs. I love to see their projects. Has anyone done the space one?
No.
Yeah, I've done some of those. Those are really cool too. It's similar to the dinosaurs because they're also STEAM courses, and they also have projects that they have to do. So they have to show the solar system, and it's really exciting. Like, I think those are fun. There's one project where they have to like check lighting in like different areas of a room that they choose. And so they like have to use this app because who has like a light meter? But you could get an app on the phone, and then they could get that, and then they could go around the room. And I don't know, it's very interesting and different.
Was that space or Power of the Sun?
That was the sun, right?
That was the sun. Yeah.
I've never taught
I
them.
have both of them. Sorry, I was mixing those together, but I do have both.
I remember Cindy Bennett talking about the light meter. That's the only reason why I thought about that.
Yeah,
Kelly-
same. Oh, I did one sun. I had one download on my phone because it was a light meter. Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
Marianne said Kelly taught her about the 25 minutes. She made me very aware. You too, Danny? Let's see. Oh, good night, Marianne. Thanks for dropping by.
Bye, Marianne. Good night.
One on.
Yeah, she works at 11 tonight, so she's going to take a nap. And Amy said teaching is more important than backgrounds. I think people put too much into backgrounds. Just my 2 cents. I'm not saying you don't need one, but I just see so many teachers freak out over backgrounds. I don't freak out, but I like the way it makes me feel. And I didn't know that until I had the Harry Potter one.
I 100% agree, though. I think your teaching is way more important than this. I think that the parents would agree.
yeah.
I think the teaching is 100% what gets you rebooked, not your background.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I agree. Dinosaurs and space classes have so much time for discussion and free talk. It's amazing. Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes.
And I want those more and more now. Sun and health too. And Laura said, I think dragons were a type of dinosaur. We just had that conversation, Laura. I don't even know where to go with that. We were talking about how kids say that.
Well, flying dinosaurs. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean,
Mhm. Right.
pterodactyls, pteranodons.
I think it makes sense. Very similar. I mean, how could they not be
Right?
And we
Okay.
can't tell if they breathe fire or not, by their bones.
Right. There's nothing in the fossils to say otherwise.
Mhm.
Well, I think we've touched on just about all that we could. Does anyone have anything they want to say about, let's see, TOEFL? We didn't say much about TOEFL. We talked voice of VIP kid, health space a little bit. Anything, anybody? Do you like the
Seen the
TOEFL?
quizzes.
It's okay. That one, it's more serious, which I don't mind, but it can depend on the student, of course, like all of them. If you have a kid that is really good at it, it's great. You're teaching, for anyone who doesn't teach it, you're teaching them a skill. You're teaching them how to get the answer without actually reading it. So you're teaching them to look for keywords in the questions and then skim. I've had bad ones. One time I had a kid where I was teaching her the Bossy E rule. I felt I was teaching her phonics and I couldn't really teach, but that's the exception, not the rule. Usually they're great. I find. Yeah.
I've had one and I just felt like I was teaching more testing type thing. You know what I mean?
You are. You
Yeah.
are. Yeah.
Yeah, it's getting them ready for their testing. So
I felt it was pressure.
Yeah.
Because that's their big thing in school. I knew their big test of the year was coming up and I was a new teacher. I had just gotten that done, or that certification. And so I was scared that I was going to make him fail his upcoming test. You know what I mean?
It depends. If you get them the first time they're taking TOEFL, then you're really teaching the skill. If it's several lessons in, then they already know and they'll go through it pretty quickly. So it can depend. Yeah.
Sorry, Kasie, what were you going to say?
Oh, nothing. No, I agree. I was agreeing with Kelly. Like, I definitely agree. It depends on, the student and like how far they are into the TOEFL floor.
Good. Yeah, I probably don't say it right.
I don't know. Yeah.
Candy said she loves the TOEFL classes. Those are the best classes. Oh. And Marianne, I did not like TOEFL. I got rid of that certification. But Marianne, she likes, she's more animated, right? And likes
Yes.
the babies and more fun.
She's a level 1 teacher, yeah.
I'm on team Marianne.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe I would get that because I used to teach study skills. I would teach how to find your answers and how to read, skim to read for answers in testing. So I mean, well, maybe maybe that's something I would like.
Yeah.
So my friends are all remote teaching right now. And the study skills teacher gave my friend's son, his first assignment was he had to clean his room and take pictures to send to her, because you can't practice good studying if you're in a messy, dirty room. And
I
his
like
mother
that
was
teacher.
like, best teacher ever.
Yes.
We had backpack clean out every Sunday before they went back to school. It was backpack clean out, and mom had to sign off on the sheet that the backpack had been cleaned out, because guess what? Lots and lots of stuff gets stuffed in the bottom of the backpack.
Like these sandwiches and homework.
Homework. Oh, here's the homework the dog ate right here.
Right, there it is. Evelyn, if you want to jump in and talk really quick about, you wanted to tell us your favorite prop, or you can write it in the chat about, what was it? VIP Kid Phonics. Evelyn told me I have a fun prop to show you guys. So
I could talk about phonics
okay, go ahead.
Well, okay, so personally, I think phonics is really good for the student who is like struggling with the letter sounds. So like if the teacher to teacher feedback is like, oh, she has a really hard time, she can't get through the lesson, that's the student it's perfect for, because you get to work on each sound with them. I think once I had a kid who went through it fast and I told the LP he didn't need phonics. But yeah, you really like, and since the name of the course is phonics, I will not tell them what that word is. They have to sound it out, and I'll keep going over it. Like, I'm like, no, you said eh. This is E, and I'll make them sound it out, So I think it's when the light bulb goes off, then I really like phonics. I know people say that it's boring, but when by the end they're actually sounding out the words and you see that it clicked, then I love it. Phonics.
You're so good at that, Kelly. You always talk about that when we have these, about later on these lessons, like what they're for. Yeah. You made me realize that, like with level 3, when you're like, no, wait till the end. When you're in Peru, you'll start seeing where it all ties together. And so you're really good about looking ahead at that. Well, I have issues with some of the letter sounds, like people teaching ma instead of and pa instead of p. We've had this conversation. It makes me sweat. Paige, as a reading teacher, what do you think?
I struggle with it a little bit, but I think too, for phonetically, a lot of times I say the ma as well. So.
No, that's it. Everyone watch my on letter sounds. There's only one letter that other teachers have debated, and that's my R. And you'll have to listen to it yourself and tell me what you think. But I'm from Boston. Just put my R in there is like great. So
I have to really watch when I'm teaching like the TR and really making sure that I'm trying to say it correctly too. I'm like, okay, how do I say this?
Oh, but I think that's the kindergarten teacher in me. You know what I mean? That's where those sounds begin. I think that's why I have such a huge mindset on that. I don't know. Okay, let's see. Evelyn said her prop is magnetic letters for forming CVC and CVCE words on the whiteboard. Yeah, I have those right here. Do you guys use those too? Like magnetic letters, or do you use the whiteboards, or?
I just write it on the whiteboard because I don't have magnetic letters, but yeah.
Wow, there's lots going on here still. Marianne said, I don't like the way VIP Kid has it set up. She's talking about TOEFL. The students just click the answer.
Oh, yeah. Marianne, I had one kid who would just click. I would turn off his mouse as soon as, and I would not turn it. So a kid like that, turn off the mouse immediately because they're not really learning the skill. They're just guessing.
Okay. Good.
Yeah, that's frustrating when that happens.
Yeah. Yay level 1, yay level 1 and 2. Oh, Evelyn's in the van, not in her classroom. Gotcha, Evelyn. Marianne loves phonics, and Evelyn likes the phonics. All teachers should learn the correct letter sounds. Oh, Marianne, you're after my heart.
I have to really make myself think about it sometimes. And I think that's just because in the South, we tend to drag out our letters a lot.
Mhm.
So I have to really, so I probably have some Southern Chinese students.
Okay, guys, I feel bad keeping you any longer. Do you realize it's been an hour and a half?
One more thing.
Oh, we can go as long as you want. I just feel bad for you guys.
Just wanted to say really quick, the JCL fashion had me so upset, and I didn't know the trick with the quizzes yet. So, I mean, there is a trick, but what I recommend is that you go through all the material, and if there's something it's just not, sometimes they make it so hard in the quiz, and it's like, is this really necessary? So at that point, I feel okay about just, resetting and checking the answers and then taking notes. Make sure you write down what the correct answer is. But I mean, warning, the JCL, it's very tricky the way they word the questions.
Oh, you're saying to get the certification.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yes. Be warned, it made me crazy. I was like, I'm not even gonna get this. Why is this so hard?
Yeah. Never mind. I'm not gonna tell myself here.
Right. We don't want to out on Kasie's channel, but reach out for help if you're struggling with the quiz. Ask someone to help you. Don't give up.
Right. That's good to know too. I'm sure some are here to know about how the certifications work. Some of them have been pretty easy, and other ones, like, I was surprised level 1 had so many, the new level 1, tons of questions.
Mhm.
That one was quite long.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
At dinosaurs and Power of the Sun and those I did okay with right away. But I've already studied them just because it's a topic I love. So I think maybe what do you guys think about those? The certifications for them?
I think they're very similar because it's all like PVL and STEAM. So like a lot of the questions I found were the same with those ones.
Mm-hmm.
Which made it nice.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, ladies. I'm going to go certify tomorrow after classes. I'm going to get all the ones you have. So
Yeah.
Oh, I want to teach those science ones so bad. Let's see. Candy said, I'm good with all the letter sounds except Q. Q is qu.
Qu.
Qu. It does not leave its little friend U. So Marianne said Q says qu. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Paige is practicing now.
No, I can say qua. I can say qua very easily. I want to be a queen. I'm just kidding.
Yes. Yes. All right. So do you guys want to plug something quickly? I would love to hear what you have upcoming. Go ahead, Kelly.
Okay, well,
Tomorrow.
yes, I don't have a lot of time for YouTube. Every Tuesday after classes, I live stream and read the weekly reports and usually talk about something else too. So Tuesdays at 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central. Yeah.
Nice. That's awesome.
Good. Danny, since I know what day you're on.
the following day after Kelly, Wednesday at 8:15-ish. And my next regular upload is going to be teaching you the Mandarin, the Chinese words that I use most often. So it's just like 10 words that I use very sparingly in class. So
Kelly, you're 9:30 Eastern, right?
Yes, 8:30 Central.
And Danny?
8:15
Central?
Yes.
Right? Okay. I'm writing these down because I never can remember them. Paige, what do you have upcoming?
Well, I've been working on a video all day today, editing it before this. But if none of you all have jumped in on, and most of y'all are fully booked that are in this group, but I do have my Increasing Your Bookings workshop tomorrow from 10:30 to 11 that you can jump in. I think I've got maybe 3 or 4 spots still available in there. So
when are you doing your feedback one? Don't you do a workshop on there or?
So in the increasing your bookings, I cover how to get 5 Apple feedback. I cover it in the workshop. So
Okay, can you announce that again for me tomorrow?
at 10:30, but I actually don't live stream it. It's a
Oh.
Zoom workshop, so you have to sign up on in the calendar
Okay. And that's Eastern?
Eastern Standard Time. So it's 10:30.
Okay.
It's right after our little class with Nancy tomorrow. So.
Yay! Okay,
Yeah.
Kasie, go ahead.
I have my videos come out Tuesdays around 2-ish on YouTube and 2 o'clock Eastern time.
Mhm.
And then I'm going to have my podcast starting. So this week, my sister said that when you're first starting, if you get like 3 out in 3 consecutive days at like in the first week, then maybe it'll like boost you a little bit. So at least get some stuff going. So I don't know. I'm doing a live on that, I guess, on YouTube sometime this week, and then I'm releasing that. So
Great.
that'll be cool. Yeah, and then if any of you guys want to be on there like sometime, I would love to interview you.
All right, let me know. I'm
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, and my big announcement, all of you already know that I'm super excited for tomorrow because Nancy Taylor has agreed for me to do her Meet the Teacher interview. It is 10 o'clock my time, so 10 o'clock Central, 11 o'clock Eastern. Sorry, Paige, I didn't even have a choice.
I need mine short. No, I'm just kidding.
This was picked like 2 months ago, and I just said, "You tell me a time."
Absolutely perfect.
Today, I didn't pick a time. I was like, "Whatever you've got." And this was before we were in her class, so I just want to say thank you to her because she decided to help my little channel before she even opened up all of her course and everything that she's doing. So, yeah, I'm really excited for that.
So I'll tell everybody in my class we're cutting it early and we're all jumping on to watch. So.
All right, guys, thank you so much. I can't believe we've been on here this long, but I appreciate it and all of the positive from all of you guys. Love it.
Thank
all right, guys.
you.
Thanks. Goodbye, everybody. Thank you
Bye,
for
guys.
staying.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, Danny, that's so cute.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.